Hey guys, it's Tim here, and in today's video I'm going to be unboxing this new digital piano. It's the Arius YDP-S55 from Yamaha. It's a prototype model, and it's actually the slimline version of the YDP-165, which you may have already heard about or seen online. So what we're going to do is unbox this and build it, and you can see there's an absolute ton of instructions on the top here, but I've been told it's pretty straightforward, so we're going to give that a bit of a test, unbox, set up, and then I'll talk through some more of the differences between these two different Arius models, and we'll have a bit of a play and give you my thoughts. Alright, I think we've got it all installed and working, which is great. I'm going to have a bit of a play through it and talk you through some of the features, talk about the action, and also have a look at the app that goes along with this. But before that, just in regard to the assembly, I would highly recommend using the YouTube video which Yamaha provides to actually talk you through this. I didn't. I followed the instructions just to see how that would go. The instructions are printed on the box. Wasn't too bad, but did take a little bit of time. The other thing to consider is that the stool doesn't come included with this model, which is one of the differences between this and, for example, the YDP-165, which do come bundled with a stool. So this one is just the instrument. The retail price is $24.99 in Australian dollars, $24.99. And I'm going to come back and we'll do some playing and have a look at the actual instrument itself. Well, this is part 2 in my video about the new Arius piano, so let's actually give it a bit of a play. I've got it set up in a new room, changed my clothes, so I might give it a little bit of a play and then have a talk about it. Impressions are, I actually quite like the key top. So in this one they've got a synthetic ebony and ivory key surface which has got some tactile roughness to it, which I think is a huge improvement to that straight kind of plastic feel that you can sometimes get on digital instruments. So that's great. The action in this one, definitely an improvement from a lot of digitals that I've used. And I'll talk about some of the differences in this one in just a moment. I also noticed that it had a soft close cover as well, which is great too. You've got the headphone sockets down underneath on the left-hand side. And the great thing is that I've just plugged this in and turned it on, and I can play without having to wire up anything. I didn't change any settings over here. Great news is that once we plug into the Smart Pianist app, we're going to get a huge ton of features and different instruments and layering and recording and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to show you that in just a second when we connect that up. But just to say that you can actually just plug this in and play it, and you've got a completely usable instrument that sounds great. The speakers are pretty good, I have to say. I think if you... There can be sometimes when if you play a key on a funny angle and really hit it hard, you might get that occasional click. I only really noticed it when I was doing this. If I really hit it hard, if I turn the volume up, I don't really need to hit it that hard. So I think that's probably partially my fault. Otherwise, it's actually a very authentic piano feeling for a digital instrument. So let's talk about where this actually fits into the range. So for the Yamaha instruments, you've really got the entry-level P series at the bottom. This is the next level up, the YDP series. And this is one of a pair of instruments, the YDP-165 and this one, which is the S55. This is the slimline version of the YDP-165. By slimline, we mean it's not very deep. That's the full depth of the instrument. Whereas a lot of these console digital pianos, the YDP-165, for example, is a much bigger instrument. So this S55 is perfect if you've got a smaller space, maybe an apartment or something like that. These two models as well build on the older models, YDP-145 and the YDP-S55. They are a different level. They're lower spec, different action. They're sensors, only two sensors for the hammer, the graded hammer standard action. This one's got the GH3 action, so it's a more realistic hammer action. There's a whole lot of other things that have changed as well. You've got the different key surfaces. Also got the VRM, which is the virtual resonance modeling. So what this does is through very complex algorithms, as it's working, as you use the sustain pedal, of course in a real instrument, when you press the sustain pedal, all the strings are able to vibrate synthetically with whatever sound is happening, whatever you're playing. And you get that very full effect. If you've ever put the pedal down on an acoustic piano and screamed into it, you'll get a huge sound coming out of it because all the strings can vibrate. So with the pedal down, I do get a really true feeling that the strings are all resonating, and this is what the VRM has done, and this isn't available in those lower models. So it's a small thing, but for those people playing more complex music and using pedal a lot, can be something that you may want to be looking into. Okay, so I said that all of this can be controlled with the Smart Pianist app, and Yamaha's decided with most of its newer models to go with the connectivity play. So there's no screen in this at all. There's absolutely no screen, not even down here. Just a small control panel down this end of the piano. So everything is controlled with your device. So let's turn on my iPad and connect it and just show you how easy all of that process is firstly. So there's the iPad. I'm going to plug it in. Now I've got the iPad Pro, so I've got a USB-C connection, which is why I'm using this rather bulky connector here. For those of you who just have a Lightning, you'll be able to use a much smaller connector. Let me show you what that looks like. So for those of you on an older iPad, you might have a Lightning connector, so you only really need one of these, which just has the USB, which comes out of the instrument and converts it to the Lightning connector. I'm using one for the USB-C, which also has HDMI in it, but we don't need to worry too much about all of that. So then I'm just going to open the Yamaha app, and it says connecting, and we go OK. And that's it, it's done. Now, if you've got any issues with it, I'll show you how to find that in the settings. There's a connection wizard if you do have any problems. But I've now done this, I don't know, 5 or 10 times, and it's just connected every single time. So let me now show you how it all works on the app. So I'm here now on the app, and if I swipe, I can change between two initial instruments. This first screen here is called the piano room. It doesn't include all the instruments. It's just kind of an easy, simple way to get to all the things that you might need. I can also swipe on the background to change the constant hall or the reverb as well. So we turn that off. And if we go to a recital, we've got a slightly longer reverb. You can hear that reverb. Maybe it's hard to hear, but that is changing as we go through. Alright, so in the top left we've got the piano room. So this is kind of the basic first level of the app that we can explore. If we head over to voice, this is where we've got a number of options as to what instruments we might want to use. So we've got and all the different voices we might like to use. Using the done menu in the top right corner is really important in this app, just to tell it that you've chosen to do something. I don't really want to use a harpsichord as much as I love harpsichords. But if I click layer, I can instantly just turn on a layer. So we've now got strings and easily just turn it off. So this app is really intuitive. You don't have to learn anything particularly to understand how it all works, which I really, really love. And they've designed it really well. Now let's just go to the top right as well. This gives us various settings, and this is a contextual menu, so it depends on what screen you're in as to what the effect of it is. So for example, I could change what octave the main and the strings, the layer is, and I can mix the two together. So if I turn on the layer, I can very quickly, I mean, how easy is that? It's just so intuitive, I really like it. So let's click done on that. I'm going to turn off the layer for now by clicking on it. While I'm here too, at the bottom left, you've got a few different buttons here. The second one along from the left is to save your current settings. So you might choose a particular layer or octave or volume level or mix or whatever it is. You can just save all of that into a preset in memory, which is really, really cool if you've got multiple settings. Maybe you're doing some performing or something like that. You've then got a metronome, pretty straightforward, and the next one is a copy of that mixer if you've got multiple things going on and songs playing in the background. So let's talk quickly about songs. So I'm going to go up to the top left menu again and head to song. So there's a few different things that the app is able to do with songs. There's a number of classical pieces built into this. They aren't backing tracks though, which I think is a bit disappointing for this instrument. Other instruments of this level will have play-along tracks for a number of fun pieces of music or classical orchestrations or orchestras to play along with. This one does have pieces, but they are all just the piano version. So, I mean, it's useful because you can play along to the score. So I've clicked on that one. It hasn't done anything. Click the done menu. Just keep remembering, click the done menu. So I can now see the score. I could try and play along with that. But I can also hit play. Or I could choose, let's just only have the left part playing. So that's pretty cool because a student who might be learning a piece like this could potentially be able to play one hand while the Smart Pianist app's playing the other hand, which is kind of fun for learning, makes things a little bit easier. You can change the tempo, transpose it, volume, all of those kinds of things that you would normally do. The other thing that this does have in here is it has the chord tracker app. Yamaha's chord tracker app allows you to choose a song from your music library. So I chose this one before, Beirut from the Riptide and Santa Fe. And by clicking done, I was able to get it to analyze the chord chart and put the chord chart up here in front of me. I could now play along with it. Which is really cool, and I'm sure you'll be able to find more information about the chord tracker app. But just to let you know that is actually inbuilt into the Smart Pianist app, so you can get that and access it anytime. You're able to do that with any song that's in your iTunes library, so if you can get a song in there, then you'll be able to do this. Unfortunately, I don't actually use my iTunes library all that much anymore. Really, everything's on Spotify. So it'd be great if they were able to incorporate this with Spotify, but I don't know, it may be too complex or maybe there's copyright issues. So it's a bit of a shame that that's not possible, but I understand these things are tricky. So I'm going to go up to the top left menu again. We've had a look at song, we've had a look at voice, and I'm just going to go back to the piano room. So this is where the base of the app is and where you can spend most of your time. If I click that one more time, you can see there are there's a utility and there's an instrument. If I click on instrument, you can see I've connected to the YDP-S55, so that's here. But there's also that Start Connection Wizard button at the bottom. So if you are having trouble, you can get connected that way. And there's also some utilities. So this is where you can change the entire keyboard pitch and tuning, general settings, pedal settings, sound system settings, and as you'd expect, a whole heap of system settings, which I'm not even going to look at because it's working so well as it is. Well, I hope you enjoyed that look at the YDP-S55 from Yamaha. I think where this sits in the range is it's a great kind of entry-level instrument for perhaps adult students or adult returning students, or a committed student, teenager, or beginner who's not quite ready for a really substantial instrument that you may find in the Yamaha range in maybe the CLP rather than the YDP, which is this range here. So the CLP, just a bit of a step up in action, and actually quite a decent step up in action for a digital piano. If you're interested in where all these different models and the clavinovas and everything sit in the Yamaha range, check this video. We'll put a link up for you now and one in the description about where you can find information about that the full product range. But as for this, for parents or students on a budget, the P series can be a great entry-level one. And then you're really looking at something like this, the slimline version, which I think is actually really sharp. It's got really, nice lines. It's super compact. I think it's really modern too. Or its sister, the YDP-S55, the slightly bigger console, but otherwise all the same inside. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you've tried one of these out, what do you think? And I'd love for you to press the bell icon so you get notified every time we release a video. So I'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.